The Lions just manhandled the Cardinals, just as we all predicted, right? Arizona was just one win away from clinching the playoffs, and Detroit just straight up dominated them. The Lions led 17-0 at the half and were up 27-6 before a garbage time touchdown. It wasn't just an upset, it was a beatdown. Jared Goff actually looked great, and Lions fans finally got to rejoice with their second win of the season. And when you're a Lions fan, you have to appreciate every win, because there aren't really a lot of them. But if you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Detroit was the first team to ever go 0-16 back in 2008, and for a while there, it looked like they were going to be the first to go 0-17 too. There aren't really many positives you can point out for the Lions. The last time they won a playoff game was during the 1991 season. You realize how long ago that was? Barry Sanders played in that game against Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin and won 38-6. Then Washington beat Detroit in the NFC Championship the next week on the way to their third Super Bowl. George H.W. Bush was in the White House. Gas was $1.14 a gallon. Michael Jordan just won his first NBA championship. Aaron Rodgers was, 8. And the legit internet was launched to the public. The internet. The Lions haven't won a playoff game since the internet became a thing. The Lions did make the playoffs 5 of 7 years before 2000, but they managed to lose every single time. They were horrible in the early 2000s and went 11 straight years without another playoff appearance. But there was some hope in the air. After their winless 08 season, the Lions had the #1 pick and took Matthew Stafford. Stafford meant everything to Detroit, and while he didn't have the playoff success he would have hoped for, he was an elite player. Stafford was plagued by bad teams and disastrous ownership. Finally, his time in Motown came to an end when he was traded to the Rams, leaving the Lions without their one glimmer of hope for over a decade. Plus, Detroit decided to move on from head coach Matt Patricia during the year. It was truly a new era in the Motor City, but Dan Campbell was hired to lead the way with newly acquired quarterback Jared Goff. If there's one thing I absolutely love in sports, it's grassroots coaches. Guys that played or coached somewhere before and then returned to steer the ship. And that's exactly what Dan Campbell is. Campbell was a blocking tight end who usually wasn't used that much, but did spend 3 years in Detroit from 06 to 09. He's definitely more known for his time with the Giants and Cowboys, but the point still stands. Campbell's playing career ended after he spent all of 09 on injured reserve before he latched onto the Dolphins as a coaching intern. He became the tight ends coach the next year and stayed in the role for 5 seasons before Campbell served as the interim head coach following Joe Philbin's firing. Miami went 5-7 with him at the helm, and after the year, Campbell was hired by the Saints as their assistant head coach and tight ends coach, reuniting him with Sean Payton, who coached him in New York and Dallas. Campbell spent 5 seasons in New Orleans before Detroit gave him a call. But damn, did his tenure start off rough though. The Lions were ass and couldn't win a game if a team put it on a silver platter. And believe me, the Vikings definitely tried to the first time the two played. But the second time Detroit and Minnesota met, the Lions got their revenge. 365 days. That's how long the Lions went without a victory. But finally, Dan Campbell finally got that dub. Jared Goff delivered a game-winning pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown as time expired to beat the Vikings, and it sparked an awesome reaction from Goff and Campbell. Detroit really did try to screw it up though, and I expect nothing less from the Lions. They led 20-6 at the half, and somehow Minnesota led 27-23 late until Goff got the ball back with 1:50 left and no timeouts. But the former #1 pick was clutch, and I think we're all glad after seeing his girlfriend's reaction on the beach. As it turns out, Jared Goff has been winning all season. We just didn't know that his girlfriend was a Sports Illustrated bikini model. Man's is living the life. It's not a secret that Jared Goff isn't the quarterback of the future in Detroit. I know the Lions claimed they wanted him, but come on. The Rams needed to get him off the books in order to get Matthew Stafford. Goff played probably his best game of the season against the Vikings and still managed to throw up a ball to TJ Hawkinson in triple coverage for an interception. Sometimes, Goff shows you why he was once the #1 pick of the draft. but always manages to show off his damning inconsistency and baffling decision-making that led the Rams to move on from him. Goff isn't the future, but Detroit is in a good position to fix that need. The Lions have 2 picks in the 2022 NFL Draft. Their own pick, which is likely going to be number 1, and the Rams pick, which is probably going to be somewhere in the early to mid-20s if I had to guess. I personally don't believe there's a quarterback worthy of going first this season, but we all know teams put a premium on the quarterback position. So that gives the Lions a few options, one of which is not taking a quarterback, which is a terrible idea. The other 2 are far more likely. If you land the top pick and want the best player in the draft, that's going to be one of 2 defensive linemen, Michigan's Aiden Hutchinson or Oregon's Kayvon Thibodeau. That leaves the Lions fishing for a quarterback after number 20, which means guys like Kenny Pickett and Matt Corral won't be there. That leaves Detroit with the potential choice of Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, or even Carson Strong. There is a long way to go before the draft, but that's where it stands today. The other scenario is the Lions falling in love with a top guy like Pickett or Corral. In that case, you take your guy and never look back. If you think a guy has the chance to become a stud, don't overthink it. Then Detroit still has another first-round pick to use. I'd imagine on an offensive guy that the rookie quarterback can rely on. Probably a wide receiver. Ohio State's Chris Olave, Arkansas's Treylon Burks, and USC's Drake London are all a few names that could fit the bill. Detroit has a lot of big decisions to make this offseason that are likely going to dictate the Lions' rebuild. They're going to have a ton of money to spend on weapons to surround whoever is playing quarterback the next year. There is still going to be a lot of concerns, and the Lions do have a long way to go. But under Dan Campbell, there's a reason to see a bright future in Detroit. Even when the Lions were winless, they were still playing at least respectable. They were competitive in almost every single game. Just winning wasn't in their cards yet. Detroit had a really hard schedule to start the season, and remember, they almost had a chance to beat the Rams. I think without a doubt, Dan Campbell is the guy to right the ship. He's different, and sometimes that's a good thing. No normal coach is telling fans that his team is going to bite off kneecaps during his introductory press conference. He specifically told fans that he wasn't going to tell them a number of games they'd win or really anything because they had already heard enough of that shit, and that instead, the Lions were going to take on the identity of the city. The city has been down before and found a way to get back up. I personally don't know how Dan Campbell doesn't make someone want to run through a brick wall.
Oh no! Oh yeah!
It's been a long, hard road for Lions fans over the years. The Matthew Stafford era showed promise, but never had any success to go along with it. Detroit just hasn't had anything good go their way. But if the Browns could get out of their fucking dumpster fire and win a playoff game, anybody can. And that includes the Dan Campbell-led Lions. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. If you want even more J&D content, follow us on our TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter.